What's up, guys? I'm Kai the Comic Guy, and today we're settling one of the oldest debates in comics. Who are actually the strongest heroes in the Marvel Universe? Here's the twist. We're not using amped up, raged out, cosmic powered up versions or variants for our favorite characters. We're ranking these powerhouses at their standard and operational baseline, using a method that cuts through decades of inconsistent writing. Quick note before we dive in. Forget what you think you know about power scaling. Marvel's own creators admit that power consistency takes a back seat to narrative needs. With that being the case, I'd like to introduce you guys to the 4-factor baseline analysis method. Here's how it works. Factor 1. Official strength class. Based on Marvel's official handbook strength scale, the amount of weight each character can lift with their arms fully extended. This is an arbitrary number, but the system was designed in the 1980s specifically to compare characters objectively. Several characters, though, have made this system outdated, mostly due to narrative needs. That being the case, we can't use this one factor alone. Let's move on to Factor 2, consistent comic book feats. No outliers or plot-driven moments, but feats that can perform reliably across multiple storylines. Next, let's introduce Factor 3, baseline durability. How much punishment can they take in their standard, operational baseline form? No rage amp-ups, no divine transformations. Of course, there are exceptions to the transformation rule. Some characters are always in a transformed state, which establishes a baseline. We'll talk about it later. Factor 4, power reliability. How consistently can they operate at their stated power levels? Some characters transform into different levels of power depending on certain circumstances, which affects their baseline reliability. When scores tie, we'll use combat versatility as a tiebreaker, the range of tactical options available in standard combat scenarios. Though, we're ranking the power level they reliably bring to standard combat, not their absolute maximum under perfect conditions. Starting our countdown with the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, with feats including holding bridge main cables together for extended periods. These cables typically support about 10,000 tons. Unlike characters whose strength varies dramatically based on their emotional state, the thing has a consistent power level that makes them easier to assess and handle. One of the thing's most impressive feats was to overpower a power driver mechanism that's stated to be powerful enough to push through a planet. Ben Grimm represents the gold standard for baseline consistency. No mental issues, no rage requirements, no confidence problems, unless his opponent is Alicia Masters. Just pure reliable as clobbering time. Strength has been protected in the Marvel Universe for over 60 years. Coming in at number 9 is She-Hulk. In her resting state, She-Hulk's stronger than the other three main Hulk because she maintains consistent strength without needing anger triggers necessarily, though this wasn't always the case in her early years. Her strength is proportional to her strength in her Jennifer Walters form, which basically means through dedicated training in her human form she becomes stronger. What makes She-Hulk unique is her controlled access to the Hulk power level without the rage dependency that limits other variants. She's proven this by defeating Hercules in arm wrestling contests, though full disclosure, doesn't mean she could take them in a one-on-one fight. Jennifer Walters is consistently a class 100 powerhouse capable of lifting over 100 tons. Unlike the volatile scaling of the Savage Hulk, her striking power has been compared directly to Thor, as demonstrated by a single punch that damaged Iron Man's armor so severely that half his unit systems failed. Perhaps her most defining feat of raw, controlled power was completely defeating the champion of the universe, a being whose strength rivals the Enraged Hulk, even without the power gem. This controlled strength, however, comes with a caveat. While her strength does escalate with anger or fear, it does not increase exponentially or limitlessly like her cousin, Bruce Banner, which is why she tends to lose in prolonged one-on-one battles against the truly unlimited powerhouses. All in all, She-Hulk comfortably bench presses her way to the number 9 seat and sits there comfortably. Number 8, Wonder Man. The Ionic Energy Powerhouse takes the number 8 spot. Wonder Man is made of ionic energy, which grants him virtually invulnerability and functional immortality. His baseline strength places him at approximately 100,000 tons lifting capacity, firmly in the high-end class of the 100+ category. But here's what makes Wonder Man special. His ionic physiology acts as a kinetic amplifier. While his static lifting might be around 100,000 tons, his striking power scales significantly higher. He successfully staggered Thor with a sucker punch, stalemated Savage Hulk, and even defeated Red Hulk using tactical skill. Namor himself compared Wonder Man directly to Thor in terms of raw power. His greatest durability feat, surviving being beaten to a planet core by Gladiator, one of Marvel's strongest beings. Yes, he was knocked out, but he survived and regenerated. His ionic form provides self-sustenance, meaning no fatigue, no food, or air, virtually unlimited endurance in combat. Unlike Thor or Hulk, he has a fixed power ceiling. His ionic energy doesn't scale to the degree that the other powerhouses do, to be able to earn a higher ranking spot. Number 7, Hercules. The Prince of Power claims the number 7 spot. This placement reveals something crucial about how divine strength operates in the Marvel Universe. Hercules isn't just strong, he's the physical apex of the Olympian pantheon. Rated at class 7, that's the same tier as Thor and Hulk. But here's what separates separates Hercules from other powerhouses. Thousands of years of tactical experience applied to god-tier strength. This isn't just about lifting capacity, it's about knowing exactly how to apply that force with surgical precision. His striking feats validate this placement. Hercules has punched the Beyonder, a reality warping entity, through 3 and 4th floors of the Avengers Mansion. His blows regularly shake the ground and create crevices from impact alone. When he fought Namor, their clash physically shook the entire Hydro base. These aren't just strong hits, they're environmentally catastrophic strikes that demonstrate force output far exceeding the standard class 100 parameters. But here's the feat that truly defines his power ceiling. In Avengers of Hercules 1995, he grew to immense size to prevent the moon and the earth from colliding. He performed a planetary scale object manipulation to stop a cosmic catastrophe. This demonstrates that the Olympian strength is mandate driven, which facing existential threats, Hercules' power scales to meet the specific need of the narrative, making his maximum strength flexible and context dependent rather than fixed. His Olympian strength grants him advantages that pure physically powerhouses lack: true immortality, near absolute invulnerability, regenerative healing factors, and unlimited stamina. He's fought Thor to standstill multiple times, and evidence comes as he's Thor's conceptual equal almost in physicality. He's even overpowered Ares, Abomination, and Wonder Man in the strength combat department. He also has engaged with Galactus in physical confrontations, though like most Galactus encounters, the context of the World Eater's power level varies significantly based on his hunger state. At number 7, Hercules represents the pinnacle of pure divine physical power, warriors whose strength is only matched by his skill, whose power adapts to the scope of the threats he faces. Though the common narrative is he typically loses to whoever's on a comic book cover. Moving on. Breaking into our top 6 is one of Marvel's most underrated cosmic fighters, Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill deserves his placement. He's an engineer and sentinel whose entire existence was designed for one purpose: to protect his people at any cost. The Corbinite known as Bill was surgically transformed into a specialized cyborg warrior through a procedure so traumatic that he was the only subject of his race tough enough to survive it. This wasn't a lucky cosmic accident or inherited power. This was earned through unimaginable suffering and an absolute dedication and duty. That's the foundation of his worthiness. It's fundamentally different from divine birthright or gamma mutations. Here's what makes Bill's baseline so impressive. Even without Stormbreaker's engineer cyborg form, places him in the Thor class of raw power. His 480-pound frame operates at class 100 strength levels as a permanent physiological reality. When Thor lost his hammer in the past, he reverted to the vulnerable Donald Blake. With Bill, his power is partially technological and physiological, making him inherently more reliable as a long-term guardian. But Odin gave Beta Ray Bill the Stormbreaker, a hammer virtually equal to Thor's, granting Bill weather manipulation, flight, portal creation, and energy projection. Now here's where Beta Ray Bill separates himself from the pack: his energy manipulation mastery. Stormbreaker doesn't just hit hard, it absorbs and redirects energy at a level that makes Bill the ultimate Herald tier counter. He absorbed energy blasts from the Silver Surfer directly into Stormbreaker. Most impressively, he destroyed Omega Ray, a cosmic entity that previously overpowered both Bill and Stardust simultaneously. His striking power validates his Herald tier status. At number 6, Beta Ray represents the perfect fusion of technology, divinity, and unwavering purpose. A guardian whose powers was literally forged through sacrifice and whose capabilities span from planetary destruction to cosmic entity combat. Taking number 5's spot is the most underrated powerhouse in the Marvel Universe, the Blue Marvel, and the evidence for this placement is overwhelming. Blue Marvel, always known as Adam Brashear, classified as an alpha level threat. But let's talk about what makes his baseline so devastating. Every cell in his body generates antimatter and makes him a walking existential threat to conventional matter. His antimatter manipulation operates at a level that transcends kinetic force. He can disintegrate at the atomic level through direct contact. His energy projection just doesn't do damage, he can annihilate the molecular bonds holding the objects together. He can also absorb attacks and convert them into antimatter, then redirect them with annihilation properties. Here's what separates him from everyone right below: versatility without variables. Beta Ray still needs Stormbreaker to access his full power. Hercules' planetary feats require situational scaling. Blue Marvel's antimatter nature means he's always operating at a world-ending capacity. No weapons needed, no divine mandate required. His antimatter generation is nearly limitless, but high amounts of radiation have been shown in some instances to deflect or dampen his antimatter energy, a weakness that highlights the technical rather than magical nature of his power source. His durability feats validate displacements. He survived the negative zone antimatter storms without injury, withstood nuclear detonations at ground zero in an emergence case. As a living antimatter reactor, conventional energy attacks feeds his power source rather than depleting it. Immortal, Blue Marvel doesn't age, and his antimatter fields provide a permanent defense barrier that makes him nearly impossible to harm through conventional means. The Blue Marvel defeated King Hyperion, our alternate reality version, who had systematically slaughtered Thor, Hulk, Hercules, and Sentries, and other physically powered beings across multiple universes. So in other words, he defeated a multiversal threat. When your power set can defeat someone who has already solved everyone else, that's not circumstantial, that's categorical superiority. At number 5, Blue Marble represents the pinnacle of matter energy manipulation. A hero whose baseline physiological state makes him an alpha level threat, whose antimatter control provides both unstoppable offense and impenetrable defense, and whose combat record proves he can defeat beings who have already solved everything and everyone else. Coming in at number 4 is the cosmic wildcard Silver Surfer. Here's why the ranking might surprise you. Strength-wise, he's at 100 plus tons rated, but there's an asterisk because he can amp it up to incalculable levels. Through the power of Cosmic, he's accomplished Herculean feats such as pushing a moon, and on a few occasions when he came up in contact with the Hulk, Silver Surfer was able to dispatch the big green giant with little effort, no pun intended. Power Cosmic grants him abilities that transcend pure physical combat, energy manipulation and matter transmutation, and cosmic awareness. When fully unleashed, the Silver Surfer operates at a level where physical laws become suggestions. He can rearrange matter and absorb and project cosmic energy, travel faster than the speed of light, and survive conditions that would annihilate other heroes. Here's the critical factors. Riders usually show off his opponent's strength rather than his own. His baseline physical strength is impressive, but he rarely fights to truly kill and often does not use his abilities to the fullest extent. When Silver Surfer does cut loose, his power cosmic places him above virtually every physical powerhouse. His matter manipulation abilities mean he can theoretically disassemble opponents at a molecular level. The Surfer's self-imposed limitations means his baseline performance, while incredibly high, doesn't reflect his true cosmic potential. Number 3, the Sentry. The most controversial patient on our list, the Sentry, has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns and operates on a molecular manipulation level that fundamentally separates him from physical powerhouses. His victory over Molecule Man, a reality warp feared by Galactus, proves he operates at a different dimensional tier entirely. But here's a critical issue that affects his baseline ranking: mental instability. Sentry constantly holds back for fear of unleashing the void, his dark tier alter ego. His power is often described as a broken superpower that puts him in a cosmic tier power bracket, but he rarely operates at full capacity due to psychological limitations. The serum that the Sentry had received was an unstable variation of the Super Soldier Serum, 100,000 times more potent than Captain America's, which empowers Sentry by causing its molecules to move. The ability grants him effective reality warping through molecular control, but his fractured psyche means he doesn't consistently access his power. In a fight against Hercules, Wonder Man, or even Beta Ray Bill, expert analysis confirms Sentry is so far beyond physical powerhouses that they really have no chance. Sentry doesn't need to physically overpower his opponents. He can simply deconstruct matter at the molecular level, and that's not a strength category, that's conceptual superiority. Hulk takes the silver medal. There's no consistent baseline Hulk since his transformations into different power levels are based on anger triggers. Here's why he ranks as high. Hulk's ceiling is literally unlimited, especially in regards to strength. While his character like Thor cap out at planetary scale destruction, and Sentry has defined limits, the Gamma engine is adaptive. The angrier the Hulk gets, the stronger he becomes, with no upper limit. Hulk's standard operational baseline is often associated with the Savage Hulk persona, who has boundless rage and quickly escalates his powers. More importantly, Hulk can be beaten temporarily, but then he comes back even stronger. His regenerative healing factor is so rapid he can regenerate from a skeleton in seconds, and he has demonstrated the ability to withstand force of a black hole in his most powerful states. Hulk is truly the one Marvel hero that has no power cap. His strength has no ceiling, while even Sentry's 1,000,000 exploding suns is still a finite measure. In his calm and Savage Hulk form, he operates at a lower tier, probably comparable to Hercules or Wonder Man, but the potential for exponential escalation with a single fight, combined with the fact that he literally cannot be permanently defeated through physical means, keeps him at the number 2 spot. Alrighty guys, we're almost there towards the end. Coming in at number 1 is the God of Thunder, Thor. The God of Thunder himself, the classic Thor, was the benchmark for the Class 100 system. He regularly withstands the weights of 20 planets and generate forces during arm wrestling contests that have been known to throw the Earth out of orbit. Unlike the Hulk's variable anger state, Thor is consistently powerful with a cosmic scale versatility. Thor dominates baseline rankings because he combines consistent Class 7 strength, matching Hercules in pure physical combat, reliable cosmic scale feats across decades of storytelling, including strikes that shatter worlds in battle lasting 40 days straight, godlike durability that doesn't fluctuate, and always accessible power. No rage requirements, no mental triggers, no self-imposed limitations. Magical and cosmic versatility that transcends pure physical combat. And his hammer's reality-defying properties allow him to perform feats and defy conventional physics. While Hercules matches him in pure physical strength and combat, Beta Ray equals his Odin Force enhanced power, and Hulk may hold the edge in physical raw lifting strength and maximum rage. Thor is the complete package, combining physical dominance, energy production, and weather manipulation, portal creation, and dimensional scale combat capabilities. Thor doesn't just match up the powerhouses and their specialties, he exceeds them through multi-dimensional superiority. Operating at a consistent peak performance without variables makes him the number 1 definitive choice that even a Herald tier combat can't match. Alrighty guys, so we made it through our top 10 ranking. Let me know if you agree with these rankings. And if not, who should be higher and who should be lower, and also who isn't on a list that should be. But before you go ahead and comment, in the comments below, I'll also add some other reasonings behind these controversial decisions, and let's make this an engaging conversation. Keep your feet on the ground and your eyes on the stars. Excelsior, my fellow nerds. Kai out.